I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're a value shopper looking for a Mac, an iMac is probably one of your best bets. And today I'm going to tell you why. So you may recognize this late 2013 iMac from my last video where I gave it a new lease on life with just $30 worth of parts and about 45 minutes worth of effort. This is just one of many highly usable modern iMacs that range all the way from sub $100 Core 2 Duo machines all the way up to Core i9s and Vega graphics. The range of iMacs that have come out since 2009 are, let's be honest, very familiar looking. But under the hood, they differ vastly, and there's pretty much one for everyone, regardless of your use case. Let's start by talking about the one that I have here. This entry-level 2013 iMac comes with a Core i5-4570R quad-core processor clocked at 2.7 GHz, 8 GB of 1600 MHz DDR3 RAM, Iris Pro integrated graphics, and a 1 TB hard drive that I upgraded to a 240 GB solid state drive. New, this machine cost $1,299, the exact same starting price as the current 4K iMac. You can get these older machines used pretty easily for under $400 though, making them a really solid value. The quad-core processor and integrated graphics mean this machine can easily outperform a 13-inch MacBook Pro from this era and even get close to a 15-inch Retina while costing less than half the price. There's also the added versatility that iMacs offer, and I'm not just talking about this one in particular. Almost every single iMac out there has a socketed CPU, so that can be upgraded very easily. And every single iMac in existence has upgradable RAM and upgradable storage. That's a far cry from the MacBook line, which has long since given up all of those things. We haven't had upgradable RAM since 2012, and we haven't had upgradable storage since 2016. Now granted, it's not exactly a straightforward process. On these 21-inch iMacs, you have to actually take off the display and remove the logic board in order to access the RAM. However, I've said this before and I'll say it again, having to go through some hoops to upgrade is better than not being able to upgrade at all. When I look at Macs, I think it's important to examine them relative to the value they produce, not just the specs for a given price point. For MacBooks, or any laptop especially, you're not going to get the best performance for your money due to the limitations of the form factor and the extra cost that goes into using custom parts rather than off-the-shelf components. What makes iMacs special is that they combine the sleek ease of use that draws a lot of people to the Mac, and they offer better performance at a lesser cost. What I mean by that is if you look at the system behind me, it's hard to argue that this is an outrageously simple setup. It's one cord, it takes up one power outlet, and I have a wireless mouse and keyboard, display, computer, everything is all in one package. It's super easy and super convenient, and that is something that Apple is absolutely known for. Granted, you're still going to pay somewhat of a performance penalty because you have to be paying for all of that convenience and the design and the enclosure and all of those different things. However, that performance penalty is going to be a lot less than you would pay on a MacBook because you can use standard components in an iMac such as this, which brings the cost down. A lot of people comment on my MacBook videos saying that the performance is a bad value, that it's not worth it. That's why I continue to recommend iMacs to a lot of people. They offer a great way to get a Mac with more performance than you would get in a MacBook for the same cost. You can get a really nice 5K iMac for a little bit over $1,000 that would definitely outperform pretty much any Retina MacBook Pro before 2018 and be cheaper than the vast majority of them. Even the pre-Retina iMacs with 1080 and 1440p displays make a great alternative to a Retina MacBook Pro because they have those large, color-accurate displays with great viewing angles and contrast ratios. Going back to the iMac at hand, this late 2013 model, it gives you a ton of options. Often, when you're shopping for a MacBook with a budget of under $400, you have to sacrifice performance because there just isn't a whole lot of performance in these older laptops to begin with. This iMac is different because for around $350, you're getting quad-core processors and Iris Pro or NVIDIA graphics, which can easily handle 1080p video editing with ease. It's both a budget Mac that can be used for web browsing and a budget Mac that can get you started with Final Cut Pro, and that's a rare combination. You'd be hard to find that in a MacBook. Now, of course, that's not to say that MacBooks are a bad value inherently. It's just that if you don't need the portability, you can get more performance out of a desktop iMac. Now, this particular iMac does have some trade-offs. For example, it being the base model means it's actually one of the only iMacs ever made that does not have an upgradable CPU, and the lack of dedicated graphics can definitely be annoying for some workloads. Fortunately, there are so many ways to pick and choose an iMac that fits your use case that this isn't a huge problem. If this base model 2013 doesn't really cut it with a soldered processor and integrated graphics, you can just take one step back, go for a 2012, and then have an Ivy Bridge i7 and NVIDIA graphics. So to give you an idea of just how versatile the iMac platform is, I'm going to spend a few weeks giving you some examples. I've got a ton of really fun iMac projects in the coming weeks, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you can catch that, and I'll let you in on a little secret here. We're going to do a lot more than just upgrading the SSDs. I think I'm going to call this iMac month because for most of August, I'm going to have iMac projects going up on the channel. I know you guys have really enjoyed some of my iMac projects in the past, as successful or unsuccessful as those have been. So hopefully this month will give you guys that iMac fix that you've been craving for quite a while now. Okay, so that'll do it for today's video. I'm really excited to show you guys my iMac projects. This thing was just a taste. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you have notifications on. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please consider following me on Twitter at Miani, and definitely consider joining my subreddit if you have any questions. And with that, I will see you in the next video.